Welcome. My name is Mary McDonald. I'm from Enid, Oklahoma. The purpose of this video is to introduce you to the AP English Literature and Composition course for beginning AP teachers. Perhaps you are brand new to AP, or perhaps you've taught 1 year of AP but have never participated in very much training for the AP program. As you've probably read, I've taught this course for over 22 years myself. I've also worked as a national consultant training other AP teachers such as yourself for over 15 years. I've served as a member of the National Development Committee for College Board, the committee that helps create the exam that your students would take this May. I've also worked as one of the 1,300 readers who meet each spring and grade or score the free response sections of the exam. I've done that for over 18 years. So I have quite a bit of experience with not only teaching the AP course, but working with the AP exam. My purpose in leading this course with you this coming school year will be not only to engage your students in preparing for that exam in May of 2015, but to help you best engage your students in becoming critical thinkers, close readers, and persuasive writers. We want to help them become young adults who will do well in college and be better prepared for life in the world to come. The first thing we're going to do together today is look at the nature of the AP course. And I want us to take some time and examine the course goals of AP Literature and Composition. These course goals are taken from the College Board's course description guide that is available to you on the College Board website called AP Central. We'll talk about AP Central a little bit later today. One of the first course goals that I want to discuss with you is to read closely. Our students need to be able to examine how writers use language to provide not only pleasure, but meaning. And I'll offer strategies to you that you can help students do this. We need to help our students question intensely. Students will be investigating text to ask the why. Why did a character do this? Why didn't the author use particular words in this way? How? How does an author give meaning to tone? And the so what? So what does this literary device do here? So what information do we get from this metaphor? How does the poem's meter help with the meaning of the poem? Those are the kinds of things we want our students to be able to do with questioning a text. We also want our students to think critically. Students will be engaging in probing analyses of imaginative literature. Part of that probing analysis comes from class discussion. Part of it comes from writing. Writing is a key component of this course. Students have to be able to write persuasively. Students learn to focus their writing around a strong thesis, to engage their audience, and to support. Generalizations aren't AP worthy. Students have to support with specific detail from the text, and they have to use convincing explication. And by explication, I'm talking about discussion, argument, stating opinion. Some of you might know it as commentary. Notice that the course description guide provides no specific list of novels or plays. In fact, nowhere in our course description guide will you see any specific work or text listed. When you look at the complete course description guide, however, you will notice there are lists of suggested authors. There's a list of suggested fiction writers, suggested poets, suggested dramatists, and suggested essayists. But again, it's always suggested, and these are lists of authors, not particular works. So you might think, What am I going to do? How do I find the right work? What's going to work for me best in my class? These questions that we have as beginning AP teachers can be extremely overwhelming. I remember the very first AP conference I went to, and the presenter said to me, she's a wonderful mentor. Some of you might even remember have heard of Jane Schaefer. She said, well, the thing to do is to make sure that our students read one novel, one play, one comedy, one tragedy, one pre-1900 work, and one contemporary work. So that's 6 things. Okay, I'll have my students read 6 works. Well, think simply. Students don't even have to read 6 major works during the school year, because we do have to focus on poetry. We have to focus on essays as well. 41% of the exam is poetry. So how can we get everything in? Think simply, said Ms. Schaefer. So we have this list: one novel, one play, one tragedy, one comedy, one pre-1900 work, one contemporary work. For example, I'm going to have my class read Hamlet. Many AP teachers use Hamlet in their courses, or some Shakespeare play, but let's take Hamlet for example. So Hamlet is a play, it's also a tragedy, and it's a pre-1900 work. So we've checked off 3 of those for starters. Think simply. We don't have to read 15 novels. We don't have to read 10. More is not always better. Close reading, critical thinking. And as I said, students do need to read essays, both classical and contemporary, and poetry, both classical and contemporary. They need to be familiar with the sonnet form. I also want to talk to you briefly about the exam and the content of the exam, what our students are going to expect in May. Just like the course, the literature is from the 16th century all the way through the present. Multiple genre, fiction, essay, poetry, and drama. There's 2 parts to the exam. The multiple choice section of the exam is 45% of their overall score. It's an hour in length. There are 55 questions, 4 to 5 passages, occasionally 6, but usually somewhere 4, 5. A passage of prose or drama, essay, always poetry, sometimes 2 poems, occasionally 3, but always 55 questions. So how is it scored? Students get 1+ point for every answer they get correct. They're not docked if they miss an answer. If they get an answer incorrect, they're not docked for answers left blank. The idea is to get as many points as possible. So to score well on the exam, students need to get at least 50% of them correct. Free response. These are the essay questions. There's always 3 of them. Students have 2 hours to write the 3 essays. So yes, it averages 40 minutes an essay. This counts 55% of the total score. There's always a poetry analysis. This could be over a sonnet. It was in 2014. This could be over a Shakespeare passage, a soliloquy. This poem could be contemporary. Occasionally, there are 2 short poems to compare and contrast. Prose analysis essay. This could be a complete short story in and of itself. It could be an excerpt from a novel. It could be an excerpt from a play. And they're doing analysis of how an author uses language. The open question is called the open question because the work chosen is open to the student choice. The work does need to be literary merit. The question is one over character, how a character functions in some aspect of the play, connected to the theme usually. The question might be related to some literary device or a plot element. A few years ago, the question was based on how a symbol functions in the work as a whole. The free response section of the exam is scored live. College English professors, AP English teachers meet together in June There's a holistic evaluation. Teachers read a lot of essays that week. The essays are scored, as I said, holistically. There's a rubric with 9 is the lowest possible score. With 9 is the highest possible score, and 1 is the lowest. In order to be in the upper half and the highest part, the highest scores, student writers need to make sure they answer all parts of the prompt of the question. The writers are rewarded for what they do well. This can be really overwhelming. I've presented information to you about what the course consists of, what the exam consists of. And some of you might be thinking, yikes, how do I prepare for this? The next thing I want to talk to you is what you can do in the summer for help. One of the best places you can start on your own is navigating through AP Central. AP Central, and the web address is on the bottom of the screen here, apcentral.collegeboard.com. The first thing you'll come to is the home page. And yes, I invite you to click around all over the place on that home screen. From that home screen, there's all kinds of information on AP Central. What I want to do for the next few minutes, however, is guide you through some specific parts of AP Central that can help you get to where you will gain the most help the quickest as an AP teacher. So from the home screen, you'll see a little menu on the left, and you're going to choose AP Courses and Exams. Under that, you're going to pick Course Home Pages. After you've selected Course Home Pages, then of course, you'll see all these AP courses listed. You're going to select under English, English, Literature, and Composition. That's going to take you to, you have lots of choices under English, Literature, and Composition. The first place I want you to check, that I suggest you check, is Essential Course Resources. That'll be in green. Under Essential Course Resources, there's about 6 things listed. The one that I have in bold here is the AP English Course Description. This is the Course Description Guide. This guide is extremely handy. Not only does it give you the complete course description, it also provides sample exam questions, both multiple choice and free response. Now, the AP language is also in that book. English literature is the second part of the book. So just be aware of that as you open the AP English course description. Another thing you'll see under Essential Course Description, Essential Course Resources, is the AP English Literature Teacher's Guide. The Teacher's Guide has several syllabi in it and has several articles that would be helpful to a beginning AP teacher. There's also several other things under the Essential Course Resources. AP Exam Information and Resources. I'll come back to that one in just a moment. AP Course Audit Information. Now, you may have heard, you may not have heard, but you have to register your course with College Board before the school year is over, 2014-2015. Your course must be approved by College Board in order for your students to have AP on their high school transcript. If you click on Course Audit Information, you will find a syllabus development guide and additional sample syllabi. These can be very helpful to you even before you're ready to submit an audit, a sample syllabus, your syllabus for audit. By looking at these 4 sample syllabi, you will notice that no AP English teacher organizes his or her course the same way. Some people choose to do it chronologically. Some people choose to do it by genre. My own course is organized by genre. That's just the way I prefer to teach. So it's up to you. Of course, I realize you may have restrictions placed on you by your particular English department or by your district, just like you may have restrictions on what you can teach by your department or by your district. But do look at those sample syllabi. Another thing you'll see on this page, it says AP Teacher Community Go. This is a place that you can sign up for a discussion group, electronic discussion. The electronic discussion for AP English includes both literature and language teachers, but it's a way to connect with other teachers throughout the nation. It also has a place that you can choose to get resources. These resources are suggestions for films. There are resource guides. There's lesson plans. And they're all available. Many of them are free. And they're all available to you as an AP English literature teacher. Okay, now I want to come back and talk about the AP exam information and resources section. Lots of things that you'll find in this part of AP Central. AP English Literature and Composition exam information is going to be coming up in just a minute on another slide. This has a list of all the free response questions, and I'll show you how this is listed in just a minute. You'll also find a free practice exam, multiple choice questions, as well as free response with the answers, of course. Advice, exam tips, a multiple choice section scoring. Now, this is scoring change, but you need to look at it as a scoring sheet. You can give a practice exam in class, and students can then score their, after you've checked for how many they got correct on the multiple choice, students can fill out one of these sheets and determine how well they did overall and compare how they would do on an actual AP exam with a score of 1 to 5. There also is available for you some free AP released complete examinations from 1987 and 1999. These are things you can download, print out using class, and let your students take practice exams. Now I want to go back to the exam information itself, the one listed at the top. This is an older example. Now the free response questions go all the way to 2014. Those are the essay questions that now appear on AP Central. But if you look at the 2012 one, I want you to see all the information that will eventually be posted about 2014. All the questions, those will be the free response questions. Later, those are there now on the web. Later this fall, the rubrics, those are the scoring guidelines, will be posted. Student performance question and answer, how students fared on the exam. Statistics, how they did statistically. Also, there'll be samples, student essays, and commentary. Why this essay scored an 8, what it did well, what it lagged, why this essay scored a 6, why this essay scored a 5, etc. And then finally, score distributions. All of this is available for AP Central. Notice that this goes back to 1999. We have all these essays, and they're for each question. The poetry, the prose, and the open. Finally, what can I expect during this course? If you take my course during this school year, I won't leave you high and dry, I promise. Prepare some this summer and come to me in August, and we'll talk about the syllabus, how to prepare for the audit. I'll provide some strategies for you, how to help those students develop some close reading skills, so they can question the text themselves. We'll talk together about strategies for writing better essays. I'll provide you with some steps for analyzing prose, how to help students delve into language, the importance of metaphor, the importance of tone. Let's talk about poetry analysis, understanding poetry, and helping students be able to write about it. We'll also spend a session on Shakespeare's language, helping students break down the heightened language of Shakespeare And this won't matter what play you're choosing to read in the course. I have some strategies that can help for any of the plays, be it tragedy or comedy. If students can understand the language of Shakespeare, they can do well on virtually any kind of poetry. I also will provide you with some strategies for tackling multiple choice passages, helping students do well when approaching the multiple choice questions. As the year draws to a close, we'll talk about the place of pre-course or summer reading, whether that's something you would like your students to do. Many AP teachers do pre-course reading. Not everybody does. I invite you to take this course. See if it's, and right now to think about it as something you would like to participate in. As you think about this summer and what you can do before August, take a look at the resources for teachers that I've posted on this website. And there's a few that I want to suggest that you look at in particular over the summer. Of course, AP Central. Many AP teachers really like How to Read Literature Like a Professor, the Thomas C. Foster book. It's a good way for students, a humorous way for students to decipher some of that literary analysis. If you're a little rusty on essays, writing essays, helping students write better essays around the thesis statement, or especially if you've never tackled style analysis in essay form before, you really might want to check out some of the Jane Schaefer curriculum guides. And if Shakespeare isn't your forte, I suggest Peggy O'Brien's Shakespeare Set Free, looking at some of those books. On my complete guide, I've got several other Shakespeare sources as well. I really hope that you will decide to take this course. I look forward to working with you next year.